Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to the TRATON Innovation Campus. This is now the second Innovation Day in our short history, and this time we decided to bring it to Sweden, to Södertälje. And there are two very good reasons for it. First of all, we are at the proving grounds of Scania, and this is right in the heart of Scania, the leading brand for sustainable transport. Thank you very much, Henrik, for hosting us. Thank you very much. And the second reason is we have also a TRATON office here. Our Chief Operating Officer, Christian Levin, and his team, they are located just a few kilometers from here. And I know some of you had a really long journey to come here to be with us, and I want to thank you really for your efforts to be with us. It's very much appreciated. Today's event is meant to bring people and technology together. It's also meant to showcase and explain our view on innovation. And at TRATON, we define innovation far beyond pure technical progress. And this definition has written today's program. We see three innovation drivers. First, modularization. Second, software and systems. And third, people and collaboration. And we are absolutely convinced that working intensively on those three fields empowers us to deliver the best solutions to our customers. Today we have also partners and customers here with us. They will actively join the program. Thank you very much for being here, and a special welcome to you guys. Thank you. And here is a short view on the agenda. As a keynote, Andreas Renschler will talk about TRATON's big picture, where we are heading to as a group, but also about our determination to shape the future of transportation. After Andreas, we will have Christian Levin on stage, our COO. He will refer to the questions, what does R&D on group level mean? How do we innovate at TRATON? And most important, how do we involve our customers in every step? After Christian, later on, we will have our CEOs from the brands, Joachim Drees, Henrik Henriksson, and Roberto Cortes, hosting sessions. And each session deals with one of the key innovation factors I just mentioned. If you're not in a CEO session, you have actually 4 options. Option 1, you make a test drive outside with one of our most innovative trucks and buses. The registration for the test drive is just in the beginning, in the entrance of the tent. Second, you go to the Innovation Expo outside in the tent. There we have a lot of partners and experts with some very exciting projects, and I would really recommend to make a short tour over there. Third option, you experience the demonstration of Scania's autonomous concept vehicle. And this is a world premiere outside and very much worth seeing. Option 4 is you take a break, grab some food or drinks, or take some extra time to chat with our executives. I know this is a lot of stuff, but this is meant to be a campus, and we wanted to give you as much freedom as possible to make up your own agenda. But you have also help. Everyone should have this agenda, individual agenda, and there are also stickers in the back. You could be stickers, because if you have a pre-booked interview, you find your interview slot there, and once you have registered for a test drive, you will also find a sticker with your time on your badge. We have also our app, and I would really much recommend to download it if you don't have it. Just a last remark from my side. Today is also the publication date of our new format, the TRATON Stories. We have some copies here, but all the stuff is also online, so it's also very much worth reading. And now, I wish you a fantastic day at the TRATON Innovation Campus, and I would like to hand over to Andreas after a short movie. Thank you.
TRATON, striving to create a global champion. We are transforming transportation. How, you ask? Well, call it innovation. That's what everybody else does. However, innovation doesn't just happen. It doesn't just appear. It's a process, a mindset. Innovation is made. So we at TRATON prefer a more precise wording.
We call it modularization. Less parts, more variants, and full customer centricity.
Customized products enable us to gain traction and even more competitive strength.
We call it software and systems, and we are a true trailblazer in connected transport solutions.
More agile, more flexible, more resource efficient.
We call it people and collaboration, made by highly dedicated experts.
Always playing fair and on equal footing. This goes for clients, for partners, any of the brands within the TRATON Group, and for each of the stakeholders. How, you asked? By bringing people and technology together. This is how we make innovation reality. This is how we transform transportation.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to TRATON. What an amazing time to meet. What an amazing place to meet. So thank you very much, Henrik, for organizing this wonderful morning here. I know it's not typical at this time that we have so much sun. We are meeting here right in the heart of our brand. And 1 week after the United Nations Climate Summit. The goal of saving our planet moves people. And this mass movement has impact and power. It is more than a community of interest. It is a shift in our society that pushes us. We all have a huge need to act. The reduction of CO2 emissions is probably the biggest challenge for mankind. The biggest challenge for our industry and the biggest challenge for our customers. So in other words, for every one of us. It affects a huge, complex ecosystem. And transport is a core element of that. We are aware of this responsibility and we take it very serious. But first of all, let me thank you for coming. Our host today, Scania, the leading brand for sustainable transport solutions. MAN is here today, well positioned as the reliable business partner with a full range offering and a mission to simplify our customers' business. And we have our proud market leader from Latin America, Volkswagen Truck and Bus, offering tailor-made products with the best value for money ratio, especially in emerging markets. You see, our three brands have a clear positioning, and every brand has its own role. TRATON Innovation Day. What do we mean when we talk about innovation. Innovation does not only mean products. We don't see technology for the sake of technology, but to create customer value. As Julia has said it, innovation for us goes beyond technological progress. Innovation is a mindset. Innovation is an approach. Innovation is an attitude of getting better every day, and thereby offering our customers and their customers true value for their businesses. Innovation means finding new ways to tackle things and to make our customers happy, to make our customers profitable, and finally, sustainable. Creating innovation is the DNA of our brands. But now, under the roof of the group, we can act stronger and faster together. Look at the radical changes in the transport industry. The entire business and its players will consolidate and adapt to new business models. To compete in this new world, innovation strength is the most important factor. And this is why customer-focused innovation is one of the key pillars of our Global Champion strategy. In the 4 years of our existence, we have achieved a row of results together. We raise synergies, and we are running on record levels. 26 billion in revenue in 2018, more than 13 billion in the first half of this year. We set a new record and crossed the 1 billion euro mark in operating profit in the first 6 months of this year. But of course, since we are in a cyclical business, this cannot be the case forever. You all know that. With a more and more challenging market environment and less growth predicted in the outlooks of the markets, we keep going. And we are confident after all. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have noticed, we have done the step to the capital market this summer. TRATON is a listed company in Frankfurt and Stockholm. For our group, we see this as a successful and important step, especially in a very sensitive and uncertain market environment. After all, we are satisfied with our start into the financial markets. We have a clear strategy, and a short-term share price development does not confuse us. Our Global Champion strategy is based on 4 pillars. First is the brand performance. Second, the cooperation and the synergies we can gain through the different brands and through our alliances. Third is the global expansion. And for us, customer-focused innovation is for us very important. This is what we are meeting here today. But where are we currently standing? Let's have a look back. Only 4 years ago, the same year as we started our TRATON Group, I was amazed by the energy that evolved in Paris, where the challenging climate agreement was settled. In Switzerland, as at the last World Economic Forum, sustainability was addressed to be the main future topic. And today, our industry, historically built on combustion engines, drives the change towards sustainable and fossil-free transportation. This is huge. I'm confident that we take this topic seriously and offer real solutions. With cleaner engines, more alternative energy forms in use, and remarkable savings in the consumption by optimizing the utilization of freights and fleets with new digital services. But there is more we can do as companies beyond product and beyond production. One nice example, less than 2 weeks ago, we had the Scania Climate Day here, not only here, but in all locations of Scania. 52,000 Scania employees all around the world stopped work for 1 hour to discuss how every single one can contribute. This example shows Scania is a true forerunner in driving the shifts toward a sustainable future of transport. We deliver instead of just talking. And this is, of course, just one example. 4 years ago, when we started ourselves and our industry, talked about a general technological openness and how to experiment in any field of drivetrain. But today, battery development is rapid and substantial. And we are processing the biggest single purchase request in e-mobility trucks globally with the Ambev Group in Brazil. Their plan is to deploy 1,600 e-trucks for our local brand Volkswagen Truck and Bus in daily operations. We will hear later on a little bit about it. Beyond this, we are currently planning and developing the implementation of a powerful and ambitious e-mobility drivetrain for all trucks and bus brands in our group. This takes time, but we are getting there. And we create robust, modern, and fuel-saving diesel engine to bridge the gap between the old world and the new age of e-mobility. To make this clear, in the next 10 to 15 years, at least every third of our trucks and buses can have an alternative drivetrain. And most of them will be fully electric. And of course, this is only a conservative calculation. But this is only possible, and that's important, if all necessary conditions are in place at the right time, especially a seamless infrastructure system all over Europe that we will need. For TRATON, by the year 2025, we want to have invested a total of more than 1 billion euros only in R&D for electric mobility. Because we believe in midterm TCO, total cost of ownership parity, that means a total cost of ownership of electric vehicles comparable with traditional powered vehicles already in the next years. We deliver, we are doing our homework, and we do enjoy making our contribution. But we also expect the decision makers in politics to do their homework too. By the way, e-mobility is not just driven from a technology perspective. It is furthermore about our responsibility for sustainability, for a sustainable future, ecologically, economically, and socially. It is exciting to experience such a radical transformation and for us to be a driving force of it. But how can we achieve innovations in such a tight framework? I think it's not a time framework. Instead, it's a great tailwind. This leads me to our 3 key innovation drivers Julia mentioned in the beginning. Number 1, modularization. Our industry requires incredibly many variants. Every commercial vehicle is different. Different purpose, different size, different load, different mileage, and different requirements. If we develop and work with modules instead of completely newly engineered vehicles, we can drive customized innovations faster, more individual, and more cost efficient. Modularization is not new in our industry, but it is a complete game changer for our group. TRATON is the first truck and bus group that is taking the challenge to invent a modular toolkit for the entire group. What is this meaning? Christian will take us, I'm pretty sure, deeper and gives us a deeper insight on that. Innovation driver number 2, software and systems. The world is more and more connected, and this comes with huge benefits for our customers. We increase efficiency, we improve our customers' business. Software and systems are of utmost importance for every future product and for every future service. This is why already today more than 30% of our engineers are working on software. 30% sounds a little bit, not so much, but we are talking about today already more than 2,000 people are working in the area of software. We are planning to connect more than 1 million trucks by the year 2025. Why? Because we want to move into the digital fast lane. To give you an idea, within the next 5 years, we are willing to invest more than 1 billion euro in digitalization of our products and our services. We see totally new business models that are being developed in our group. And, of course, with partners, as you can see in the area of our campus here. Just one example. With our cloud-based logistic brand Rio, we are planning a cooperation with Volkswagen Concern Logistik. By the way, one of the biggest logistic players with more than 18,000 truckloads a day in Europe. The aim is improve utilization of trucks, reduce empty runs and idle times. and drive our customers' business to the next level. Because, let's face it, we cannot be satisfied with the existing 50 to 60% utilization of trucks out there. This is not a good ratio. Not for our customers' efficiency, not for society, and not for the environment. When we optimize the capacity through software, then digitalization can contribute to climate protection. The combination of electric and electronic systems is also key for MAN's new truck generation. We are approaching to witness the most digital truck in the history of MAN. And what comes next? Well, we are working on it. Make sure to check out Scania's autonomous concept vehicle that is demonstrated outside for the first time. A truck without a place for a driver. That means, in other words, without a cab. Innovation, driver number 3. People and collaboration. Creating innovations is not just about finding brilliant ideas. It is about bringing the right people together. Because I strongly believe that is when the magic happens. For us, collaboration can be seen on 3 levels. With our customers, and we see, as Julia already mentioned, some of them here today. With external partners, be it in the development stage or with our alliance partners globally, just like Hino in Japan. Outside this hall, you see a new concept vehicle, a light delivery truck from Volkswagen Truck and Bus in Brazil, equipped with an e-drivetrain components from Hino. Why don't we use our own engines? Because we understand partnership the right way. Learning from one and the other, and using the complementary strengths of a partner in segments where it makes sense. And the third level of collaboration is the one within our group of 3 different truck and bus brands. How we work together at TRATON, how we create synergies, and how we benefit together from the individual strengths. We are striving to enforce pluralism and inclusion in order to realize the best mix of people possible from a global point of view. So let me summarize. Innovation means successful and satisfied customers. That's the most important driving factor for us. It makes no sense to invent vehicles that can drive on the moon, because we have no business and no customers there, at least for the time being. But we have thousands of customers on this earth who are facing the big challenges of radical transformation, increasing pressure on costs and delivery times, growing globalization, resource scarcity, demand for more sustainability in every aspect. One thing is clear, and I don't think I have to convince you. Transport is the backbone of our global economy. And it is hard to think about a world without transport. So we better make transport a better one. Better transportation makes a world better. And we are committed to prove that we actively contribute to that. That's the why. Let's now focus on the how. How do we tackle these challenges at TRATON, and what makes us unique? The best person to explain this is our COO, the living proof of our serious ambitions, not only to talk innovations, but to trigger and realize them on group level. So let me hand over, ladies and gentlemen, Christian Levin. Thank you.
Kind of you. No pressure. All right. Thank you, Andreas. No pressure at all. So, as you said, my job now in the coming half hour is to try to take you down from the why, Andreas, kind of helicopter level to, well, not ground level, but perhaps rooftop, and start to come into how we address innovation, how we address the major changes that lie ahead of us in the group. But I would also say that we go much deeper in the 3 sessions, where you will really meet also our experts. 2 years ago, many of you were at our Innovation Day in Hamburg Hafen, in the port of Hamburg. Then we focused very clearly on the megatrends in the world. We were focusing on the focus on sustainability, the digitalization in the world, and the urbanization of people, and how that affects our industry, how that brings in demands on electrification, on connectivity, and on autonomous driving. So still on the what level. Today, and after discussing with our engineering community, we said, okay, how do we take this further? Well, let's invite you behind the curtain and really talk about the how. And let's also bring the outer view in, hence the idea of bringing our customers here, and let them tell us together and debate with us what are their demands, what do they need for us and from us in this changing environment. Hence the focus on the 3 capabilities that we think, as TRATON Group, are the most important to tackle the future. The softwares and systems, the modularization approach, and the collaboration. Hence, focus on people. That's also something that is coming to my mind, because I also ended up with the responsibility of purchasing. And when you evaluate a potential partner, and here all of you from the financial community, you're used to capital market days, where we are bombarding you with figures and you're fitting that into your Excel sheets and try to make an evaluation of our future potential profitability. When we evaluate suppliers, we used to do the same. We looked into figures and offers. But now it all goes about assessing your technical capabilities and competencies. It goes about understanding what you can expect from a partner. And in the end, it goes about the people. Can you look them in the eye and trust them for a successful collaboration? I think that is what we are offering you today. So it goes further, much beyond, and I think it's very courageous of Andreas to bring this perspective into an open meeting with you representing the entire public around us. But okay, who am I? I think our communications department had a lot of fun finding old pictures of me. This is, I think, this is from 2005, obviously, when we received the Truck of the Year reward for the R-Series launch. This is a younger Christian Levin, obviously 15 years younger. I'm older than that. In the Scania world, 25 years ago, I started. And I spent, as maybe this picture shows, most of my time, or all of my time actually, in the commercial area, working with services, working with marketing, working with sales. And I worked in many parts of the Scania system. And one of my later positions as part of Henrik's executive board was heading all our sales and services companies around the world. At the time, 37 different daughter companies that were run pretty much independently. And what we decided was to group them together and strike a good balance between local entrepreneurship, and still reusing the very good practices that you found in the different parts of the world for everyone. So focusing a lot on the processes and the hows. And there I learned a lot about the challenge in finding this perfect balance, and I think that's why, Andreas, you also brought me into this challenge of doing the same, you could say, between our brands in the TRATON Group and in our engineering community of the TRATON Group. As a red thread through my entire career, I had the customer in focus, and I always challenged our industrial system on being better in serving the customer, be it on the product, the most obvious one, bringing the right products or services, but of course also quality and lead time, equally important, because that's how you build trust in the customer layer. And that is something that I bring with me here. But also leadership based on values. And we have our TRATON values that are extremely important because they build our principles. And when you lead through principles, you can achieve people in different places, in different organizations, different brands, thinking the same way, hence developing methods and ways of doing things that are maybe not exactly the same, but similar enough to be successful in a group. As opposed to trying to bring rules and policies and microsteer a system in different parts of a global world, which I think is totally impossible. And especially if you want innovation to happen. Then you have to leave people the freedom to act within their part of and their responsibility. But back to the customer. With my background, I'm particularly happy to bring to you and invite up on stage our 3 customers that will help us today in our sessions. But we will make a short teaser now. And I will try and understand and share with you, they will share with you a little bit about what is really important, what is partnership about, what is innovation about, and most important, what do they expect from us in order to be partners not only today, but also for, well, I hope eternity, but at least for the future. So please welcome up on stage Mr. Patrick Moller from InBev, Mr. Helmut Schweighofer from DB Schenker, and Mr. Daniel Molin from Nobina. Thank you so much also from my side for coming here. And you must know that, the list of requirements that we set up when choosing the customers was quite extensive. So these are not any customers. I mean, we said they of course need to be partners of our brands, Volkswagen, MAN, and Scania. They need to be innovative, pushing us for being better, and also involved in development work with us, actually part of our product development processes. They need to be courageous to step on stage and face you together with us. And they need to be a bit also pushy and speaking their meaning and being very clear what they want from us. So the completely unfiltered truth, that's what we are expecting from you guys. Let's start with you, Patrick. Just if you can give us a couple of minutes. Okay, what's your company, and how are we involved together?
Okay, thank you very much, Christian. First of all, I would like to thank TRATON Group for inviting AB InBev and Ambev for this very prestigious event. We're very honored to be here, and we're very happy about our long-term collaboration that I think is flourishing more than ever before. So thank you very much. So AB InBev, in short, it's the world's leading beer company. We have operations in more than 70 countries globally. We have close to 30% global beer market share. We have a portfolio of more than 500 beer brands. So that's in short, very short, our company.
Have you tried them all?
No,
not yet.
So of course we do produce, sell, and distribute a lot of beer and other products in all the marketplaces where we operate. So get to the core of this. So for AB InBev, sustainability is at the core of our business. It is basically our business, and we feel strongly committed to make sure that we leave a strong sustainability legacy for future generations. We feel so strongly about this that we want to make sure that we give a very strong impact also to the local communities within which we operate. Anyway, so some 2 years ago, we publicly announced a new set of very ambitious sustainability goals for our company, and those centered around 4 pillars. One of those pillars were around climate action. And within climate action, we stated, or we committed, that we would reduce our carbon emissions across our value chain by a minimum 25% by the year 2025. We also stated that all our purchased electricity would come from renewable sources by 2025 at the latest. And as you might imagine, that was kind of, pretty much a mountainous task for AB InBev and for all operations around the world. And in Ambev, our kind of leading brewer in Latin America and part of the AB InBev group, they realized very quickly that we could not do this on our own. It required a very strong collaboration, which is one of the central themes here. Very strong collaboration with external partners and a co-ownership by our strategic partners in the industry. And that's how it felt natural to us and to Ambev to reach out to one of our key long-term partners in Brazil, Volkswagen Trucks and Bus, and Mr. Cortés here and his team, to share our vision, which was very much evolving at the time, but really what we stated was that we would like to replace our traditional fleet, about at least 1/3 of our traditional fleet in Brazil by year 2023. And that would equal what you spoke about earlier, something like 1,600 trucks, e-delivery trucks. And much to our, maybe not surprise, but happiness, you jumped on that same vision from day one. And I think that's, of course, what we expect from true partners, strategic and long-term innovation partners. That shared vision and that
fantastic. So that's the next step in our partnership. We're now developing products together.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks, Patrick. I'm coming back with some follow-up questions, but I will let the rest of the customers in here. So Helmut, from your side.
Yeah, talking a bit about
same question.
About DB Schenker, not doing a big advertise, but we are one of the top players when it comes to global logistics services. And I would say, and I'm very much convinced of that, our uniqueness comes with our products, with our product portfolio. When it comes to air freight, ocean freight solutions, but also land and over land solution in terms of distributions and value-added service with contract logistics. And the magic comes when we are doing that for our customers with integrated services, and we are the ones who are able and capable to do that. What I like very much, with this Innovation Day and also in terms of our partnership, because that's real partnership, because on one hand side, we are both suppliers and customers. So we are serving you guys for Scania and also MAN with logistics services. On the other hand side, we are placing some nice orders, especially in terms of the e-mobility and buying trucks from your side. And the third dimension, I think a very important one, Mr. Renschler mentioned that it's alliances, it's collaboration, also co-creation. So we are doing some very nice stuff there in terms of autonomous driving, and there the first step is platooning, and we are there in a very good partnership and collaboration.
Way beyond the traditional selling and buying.
Yes.
Relationship or
yes.
the horse trading,
Yeah.
Thanks, Helmut. Daniel,
Thank
your
you.
side.
Yes, I'm from Nobina. We are the largest public transport operator here in the Nordics. We have some 3,500 buses that we operate in the cities and regions all over. These are public contracts. We do it for the cities and for the regions. And our mission is mainly developing the local public transport. So the ultimate goal in our contract is to make more people get out of the cars and into the buses, because that's what sustainability is really. The bus is truly sustainable when we get cars off the street and get more people to ride together in a more efficient way. And it's also sustainable for the cities with the urbanization and to take care of the congestion in the cities. That is sustainability for us. But still, we are over 80% on fossil-free fuels. We have a fleet of 150 electric buses that's growing quite fast. And we are a market leader in our market for public transport, and we want to be the market leader, and that means that we need to push innovation with our customers, with our partners like Scania and MAN, and I think we'll hear more about that example in the software and systems session with autonomous buses.
You bet. Thanks, Daniel. So as you see, we really represent three very strong brands in the respective industry, but also it shows the width of our customer base, from mobility of people over to logistic expert, over to what we call captive transport, where you are actually not in transport, but you have chosen to do your own transport of your core product, which is beverages. Patrick, so you said, well, we have a long relationship and so on, but why did you choose us? You have other suppliers as well.
Yeah, I think that. I think obviously it was the trust and the depth of the collaboration that had been built up for so many years. That, of course, was the fundament, I think, for us reaching out to you. I think what set you apart was, of course, the sharing of the bold vision, and complacency in ABI is a swear word. It doesn't exist basically in our dictionary. And I think it seemed to echo very well with yourselves. I think it was, but really, I think it was the ability or the agreement from your side to share the risks, share the vision, and then also, without knowing the end state where this product would end, really, setting out on this journey together with Ambev and together with AB InBev, and share the risks involved, but also get fully behind it.
I really like that, because it's really, that is the critical point, that we're suddenly supposed to supply something, but none of us knows exactly what it's going to be, right?
Exactly.
And that's why partnership becomes so super important. Helmut, when we met last time about a year ago in Munich, you spoke to us also in an Alliance conference.
Do you still remember?
I still remember,
okay,
because I remember also you were not completely satisfied with what we could offer you. So you wanted more, and I would be curious. I mean, we of course, let's put it like this: if we were to be your sole partner for the coming future, what would we need to improve to make you more successful?
I would say that's quite simple and straightforward, like I am. Yeah, we demand nothing else what our customers demand from us. Okay. Yeah, and that's first reliability.
Yeah.
Second, cost efficiency. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, we are in a very competitive market environment, and there we need strong OEMs. There we need very strong partners.
And that's also, of course, what innovation is about.
Yeah,
it's about creating the cost base for you to be successful. Yeah, but also, of course, the exact specification that you need
that's
in
right.
your different roads. Yeah, good. Daniel, we also met. We actually met last week, because I had an engineering conference here in Stockholm for our 250 top engineering executives, and you challenged us there. Now, you said that for you, sustainability it's here and now. And the most important thing you can do is to get people out of cars into buses. That's much more important than going fossil-free, for instance, in the short term. But how can we help you more on that journey? What is our role in our partnership?
Yeah, first of all, it's helping us improving our service offering to our customers, same as for Schenker. So getting products that are, first of all, more reliable, same thing there. A bus that you can't rely on is not an attractive bus journey. Further on is improving the service offering. The public transport industry is quite old-fashioned. It's more linear TV. We want to move more towards Netflix, and this customer-centric development needs more technical cooperation and partnership with suppliers like you to make it possible.
Because you don't really want to do maintenance and servicing yourselves, right?
No, that's the backside of the medal, but still very important to keep up the high standards of service quality. Last month we operated 99.97% of all planned trips, and if we go lower than that, we're losing customers.
So you see, so even if we, with these three great companies, are developing state-of-the-art new technologies within electrification, connectivity, and autonomous, you still come back to the basics of our industry. It is about, it's about cost, it's about fuel or energy consumption, and it's of course about reliability and uptime, because that's the name of the game in any logistic chain. But we will go much more into details. Thank you very much for teasing our guests and for being with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I should also say that we have actually a fourth customer. We have Hans from Ahola from Finland here with us, who will also be joining in on one of the stations with Henrik Henriksson talking about softwares and systems, which is very interesting because Hans himself has developed a very advanced logistics support system software for his fleet. Good. The idea of the stations is to give you, compared to this, a much more informal setting where you really get a chance to do what I said before, really get a chance to talk to the people, interact, ask questions, discuss, debate, and of course also question our reasoning. We appreciate that. We have 3 of the best CEOs in our industry present, and they are prepared to take on any challenge. So back to now. So this seems to be the older Mr. Levin. I started in spring, and from this traditional Anglo-American culture, in the first 100 days I had my chance to change everything and get us into the right direction. Bad for me, I didn't. I did the opposite, didn't change anything in the first 100 days. But I spent a lot of time traveling the TRATON world. I met with our different functions, I met with our different sites, with our different brands, and foremost with a lot of people, trying really to understand where are we, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, what are our challenges in short, so to get a platform for change. And what struck me was that wherever you go in our universe, you find absolutely fantastic world-class people and capacities, competencies. But what you don't find is all of that in one location. And I think that is very much what my responsibility within TRATON and the CEO office, and by the way, the whole TRATON is about. It's about transferring all these pieces of fantastic competencies to everyone so that we lift the level of the whole group. So that sharing is something I would like to introduce into my portfolio responsibilities in our matrix. So it spans from R&D and product planning over to purchasing, our alliances that Andreas was into with our partnering brands and alliance partners, over to how we also set up our future production network. Now we do this in a matrix, so it's the brands and it's us, and our responsibility is to create the arenas where people can meet, where people can be transparent, and where people can share these practices. And experts are not necessarily trustful to each other when they meet. There is competition, there is history, but when you come into the technical details, that's where magic happens. But it takes time. It's a stepwise approach. It's not a revolutionary approach. We let this take some time, and we base it on finding common principles. Because again, it's about a community thinking the same way. When you think the same way, you will come up with very similar methods, and that's where synergies are created for the group. And with that comes, of course, the responsibility to also set the governance structure around this system. Sounds easy, right? It's not. It's darn difficult, but it's also a very, very exciting challenge. So I must say I like it a lot. I know many of you have seen this picture, but I still think it's a great one. This is Manhattan City in a very changing period. On the left, from your side, yes, the left, you see a city or a street full of horses and carriages. That's how transport was done in Manhattan, at least in the 1900s. 13 years later, same street, same Manhattan. If you look hard, I think there's one horse. The rest is cars. I think on the other, if you look really hard, there is one horse, or one car amongst the horses. So there was early adopters also. Now, of course, you cannot generalize. You cannot say that, okay, this is the kind of change we're looking for. In 13 years, the world will completely change. But I think since then, the magnitude of change that we're facing now, when we go into the new technology areas, is not similar, but it's 2 or 3-fold bigger. So when we look on a street in Manhattan in 13 years, well, it might be so that you see vehicles without cabs, without drivers, fully electrified. It might so be so. And we have to be prepared for that. I don't think it will happen everywhere. It will not go that fast everywhere. But it starts now and it starts somewhere. And we need to be on that boat. We have the CO2 legislation that is supporting us. In Europe, 2025, we need to cut 15%. That's possible also with traditional technologies. By 2030, we need to cut another 15 to come to 30. Then it's not possible anymore to do that with traditional combustion technology. And we need to be electrified. So we get some support from the system around us, but of course we also need the help from the politicians to create other prerequisites like charging infrastructure or availability of H2 to be successful. So for us this is a challenge. This is a technological challenge, and coming on top of the challenge to working together as a group to combine our resources within the engineering community in a smart way. So we are very humble about the difficulty of doing this in a what Andreas calls a startup company, only 4 years old. But we're also very, very confident that it's doable. And there are advantages to it. We will come back to that, but the 3 perspectives, why is that important? Why is software and system important to us? Well, it was already said that 30% of our engineers are working within that area, and that's growing very, very quickly. Software is in everything. The electrical architecture is a crucial thing for us to harmonize within the group. And software is part of the delivery to our customers. In the future, we will not deliver hardware to customers. We will deliver solutions, systems, and software and IT will be an integral part of that. Modularization, why is that so important? Well, because that's the smartest way to combine tailor making with long series of components, hence industrialization and low costs. And finally, collaboration and people, yeah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's working in a group, but it's also working with external partners, stakeholders, in a rational way. So let me go deeper, starting with modularization. And modularization is our answer to creating true, what I call true synergies. True synergies is not only cost. That's the first thing you think about, okay? You think about, okay, more trucks together, you will save cost. Well, it's not that easy. It's not at all that easy. True synergies is about making our customers more profitable, hence increasing our pricing power. So making us more profitable. And at the same time, also reducing cost by eliminating double work and unnecessary components. And this is the old dilemma in the automotive industry. How do you combine this? How do you combine really long series, where industrialization and scale kicks in, with customer demands of tailor-made solutions? And most companies said this is impossible. They go for either. Either you go for mass market standardization and you get really good cost structure into your product cost, but you also get a product that is average. And at least in our industry, average is not something at least any of you guys would want. You want something that is tailored to your specific need, because that's how you become more competitive and profitable. You can go the other way and go completely into tailor making of industrial products. That is possible. Some companies do that successfully, but volumes are of course very limited, and the price you need to charge is extremely high. So usually that's also not a good strategy. So the beauty of TRATON is that within our brands we have that already embedded. Scania since forever, MAN and Volkswagen since many years. And the trick now and the challenge is to combine that into what we call the TRATON Bygglåda, or the TRATON modular system. Not for all components, but for the main components where it's relevant, we need to come to our 3 principles of modularization, which is standardized interfaces, standardized over time, so stable interfaces, well-balanced performance steps, having the right amount of performances on all components, and finally, same needs, identical solutions. Identical solutions. That's how you get the scale. And understanding that it always starts and ends with the customer. It means everyone in our system needs to understand the customer. It's not enough to say, well, I sit at the end of the chain, I'm a design engineer, I get from my boss or from next one in the chain a specification, this is what I should do. No, you need to yourself understand also what are you doing in order to support the customer's business. We are setting this up in building blocks, and I wanted to just touch on one part of this where we have already succeeded. We have already implemented a methodology to transfer customer demands. And we're talking about hundreds or thousands of customers' demands in a structured way into all our brands and into our engineering system. It's not important what we call this, but it is in essence taking all the use cases from all our brands, and by the way, not only our 3 fully owned brands, but also our partnering brands, so use cases with their customers, and bring that into what we call performance series and performance steps, which is in the next stage is translated into a technical solution by our engineers. That's where we are right now. So we have agreed on the method to collect, structure the demand side. So we know what we need to get out. Now we're into the process, okay, how can we then harmonize the doing? The actual ingenuity of our engineers to develop, because there you can go in 100 different directions. You know the demand, you know what you want, but you can do it in different ways. And there we need to come to similar ways of doing it. The other beauty of modularization is that it can handle brand positioning. Of course, we do not, with many brands, want products coming out and being identical, because the only thing that will result in is cannibalization and price erosion. We need to get different end products. But the beauty in that matrix is that the brands, based on their brand positioning, should choose the components to build vehicles that suits their customers, their specific customer base, which is different between our brands and between our geographies. So that's the other very, very strong reason why modularization is the answer to handle the group's challenges of combining profitable customers with a profitable TRATON. Bring you a couple of examples. In the traditional technologies, we're very close to launching a completely new driveline. It's a new 13-liter engine, it's a new set of gearboxes, it's a new set of rear axle gears, it's a new set of control system, software, but also after treatment. 13-liter, why? Because it's at core of our sales. It's more than 50% of the group and about our alliance partner sales in that segment. So starting with Scania, rolling out in the end of next year and beginning of 2021, first products are coming, and by 2025, this will be the basic solution for the whole group. Fully modularized, based on the demands from the different brands, these components will come in. More important, for the future, Andreas, you mentioned it, in e-mobility. So here is a picture of a e-motor, a propulsion system. And here, we can start from scratch. We can build up one system, one set of components, starting from the lowest demands of less than 100 kilowatt power, up to the highest demand where you talk heavy transport, 250 ton, you need 500 plus kilowatts, into the same logic. And it does not all have to be developed at the same site. You mentioned Hino engines that you will see out here, put into Volkswagen vehicles that you also see out here. That could be one performance step in this range of components. But they should be modularized, having the same interfaces, both electrical interfaces or software interfaces as hardware interfaces. Now, I will not spoil the modularization session where Joachim and the team around him, together with Helmut from DB Schenker, you're joined also by Niklas Bruse from the CTO office. You will really go deeper into this super interesting topic that I burn for, you hear that, and you'll have a chance to really debate that issue. I mentioned the software interfaces are just as important as the hardware interfaces when building up a modular system. So software obviously is growing in importance. And there are a couple of challenges comparing to the traditional mechanical development work with software. One is lead times, which is an advantage because you can change code and roll out code much faster than you can roll out new, for instance, gearboxes or engines. But, of course, it has to come together with the hardware because it's integrated in the hardware. So here comes the challenge. How do we solve that? I don't have a solution to that today. But it's clear that we need to address this lead time issue because functionality for customers in the future lies within software. That is how you differentiate. That is how you bring new functions to your customers. Then you have the OTA, over the air. Since all our vehicles are connected, and since technologically we already have the capacity to update vehicles in circulation without taking them to the workshop, gives us tremendous advantage and possibility. But there are legal frameworks, there is cybersecurity, security directives and challenges that needs to be handled. And there's a new business model. So suddenly you address a rolling fleet. Before, you talk to a customer about an improvement, it was always on the next product. But now you can discuss improvements on the existing products, on the entire fleet. So how do you transfer that into a business system? That is another really cool challenge that is coming with software. Third thing I want to mention is that we strive, and we are well underway in the group, to change our way of product development within software, going to the popularized world of agile development, which basically means much shorter development cycle, parallel development, bringing again the customer into the product development where you verify together with the customer that your improvements are relevant. And that takes us away from the traditional project-based development where you decide in the beginning, these are the requirements, this is what we will develop, into continuous improvements where you launch products basically, I wouldn't say daily, well you could, but at least we talk about months and not about years. And again, combining that then with our traditional world is a really cool challenge. This will be addressed in the session with Henriksson, where you will also have both Daniel from Nobina and Hans from Ahola, and Joachim Gimholt, who is an expert in systems and software at the CTO office in TRATON. Brings me over to the last area of partnership, which is, of course, the most important. We have touched upon the importance of our internal partnerships, the way we work between our brands in the engineering community. But I would like to, at this point, talk more about the changing ecosystem. So in the past, we were into it, Patrick. It was easy. You made a specification, told us this is what you want, and then you went around, right? And we did the same with our suppliers. We set up a list of requirements and a timing, and then we were asking for offers. That is gradually going to disappear, because when we step into the world of continuous updates about software, it's about going into partnership, because we cannot exactly specify. Patrick said it also. We don't know what the end product is really. So we cannot exactly specify what we want to buy. Hence, you have to come into a model where you somewhere share the risk and the profit. And you step into collaboration world that is quite unknown to us. You can, of course, find a partner where you say, okay, this is so interesting, we try to buy them. Okay? And you will find great examples of that out here later today, where we have, through venture capital and M&A activities, we have taken on smaller companies. But you cannot buy everyone that you would like to work with. That is not, at least we cannot. We don't have enough funds to do that. Maybe others can. But so we have to find ways to collaborate. And that is a true challenge to us. We're not used to that way of working. So this is super interesting, how we now build up, rather than a supplier base, we build up a collaboration ecosystem on the back end as much as we are doing already, and I'd say successfully on the customer side. But this is making this challenge so much more interesting, and that's also why people and collaboration is such a super important topic for us. And Roberto, you will deep dive this in your station. You will also get good help. You will have Patrick there. You will also be joined by David Holmgren from MAN and Sofia Wollner from HR in Scania, right? So that's your chance of asking a lot of questions. I mentioned, to finalize, our engineering conference we had here in Stockholm 2 weeks ago, the top 250 engineering stars of our community. The theme was customer-driven innovation within e-mobility. So the focus was on e-drives and electric vehicles, and it was on the customer. And it was a very successful exercise where we took the outside view. Daniel was one of the people challenging us. But I would also like to underline that as a keynote speaker, we had also Professor Leverman from the Potsdam Institute of Climate Research, taking to the agenda the enormous challenge we have with CO2 and making that super clear to all of us, creating a lot of motivation on solving that issue much faster than what was previously discussed. Another theme was speed. How do we get faster? Software is one part of it, but it's not only software. It's about constant need from our customers of getting better and better solutions. And that's a true challenge that you also will touch upon within the different stations. So we are in a shifting world with shifting technologies in a growing group. And for us, this is really the beginning. We have more resources compared to our size than any other group in our industry. We have better engineers. We have, as I described, a platform to start from where we are market leaders in Europe. We're market leaders in Latin America because of our current products and services. We build up with a new series of driveline components, traditional. We add on, starting from a white piece of paper, a modularized product offering in e-mobility and autonomous vehicles. And we believe that with that, and based on our principles of modularization, collaboration, and leadership, we will be able to stay ahead of our competitors and make our customers more profitable for many years to come. Thank you very much from my side, and I would like to hand over back to Julia. Thanks.
I would like to finalize the first part of the program with asking Joachim, Henrik, and Roberto on stage. They will give you some very, very short insights into the sessions, so that you know what is it all about. So would you like to start?
Yes, sure, I can start.
Thank you.
I think we heard a lot already from Andreas, and I think also from Christian about the sessions. The one we are having with Helmut is on modularization. I think modularization, you heard, is one of the most important topics when it comes to cross-group synergies. How can we, of course, find more synergies between our brands? And I think we have some good examples, also, but also some outlook for the future, how we will deal with this topic of modularization. So for the customer, of course, but also for us as a group, how we can actually make this work the best. And then, of course, there will be also one special announcement, which I will not make now, but later on in my session. So please join the session for that. Thank you very much.
That was a very good teaser. Okay, and Henrik is hosting the session Software and Systems.
Yeah, we don't have a cliffhanger as Joachim had, but we have some really qualified people that will be there. As Christian said before, we have both Daniel there and Hans from the customer side, and me and Joachim together, we will guide you through the world of software and system, and we will have the assistance also from Claes Eriksson on the first line there. We will talk about how software and systems is influencing everything we do, from research and development into production procurement, but also how it affects our business models. We will do a deep dive in autonomous. You will get the link to what we're doing on a demonstration of the new Scania AXL solution, the cabless truck that Andreas was talking about before. We will also do a deep dive when it comes to battery management and the software side of that. And we will also talk about some of these new ventures that we're doing that you will also be able to see out in the exhibition, how that is linked to our core business and why we have teamed up with these different players and stakeholders. We will make sure that there's plenty of time for Q&A as well, and we will then line up everyone on stage. So take care of all your critical and difficult questions. So looking forward to that. And of course it will be parallel, so you will be able to see us all, so we don't have to compete so much about where to go. You will be able to meet us all, so thank you.
Thank you, Henrik.
So in few minutes, I will have the pleasure to talk about a subject that I like the most is talk about people and collaboration. Collaboration is in our DNA. I will also, within the collaboration with partners or suppliers, I will have an announcement on a new consortium that I will give you in few minutes. So don't miss our section. And also on the test drive, we brought way down from Brazil 3 vehicles. 2 of them are in the test drive. One is the e-delivery that Ambev is already testing for a year with very good results. And we also brought a e-flexible Volksbus that, again, you can drive. And in the static exhibition, you can see the e-delivery 4-ton powered with the Rhino components. So I'm looking forward for a very intensive discussions with all of you in few minutes. Thanks for the attention.
Thank you. So this is the end of the program here, and we have a break now, and then the sessions will begin. You can right away start with the 4 options I talked about. Wish you a lot of fun with exploring everything here. And enjoy your stay at the TRATON Innovation Campus. Thank you very much.